Do you feel nervous and uncertain when it comes to selling your services to clients and potential clients in different countries? Are you worried about where you stand legally and what type of contract do you need? Well, if so, this video is for you because in it, I'm going to bring you a whole load of clarity on this topic. I know that it's something that plays on your mind. I get asked about it all of the time. So in this video, the first thing that I'm going to do is just give you the basic lowdown on that legal situation where you want to sell your products and services to clients in other countries. And I'm really excited and happy to share this with you because good news alert, it's actually really quite simple and straightforward. So I know that the idea of it might feel really messy and fraught, but actually it's really quite straightforward. So I'm going to share that with you as the first point. You're going to feel so much better as soon as I do that and so much more confident to really get your products and services out there internationally. Then the next thing I'm going to do is talk about insurance in this international context and what you need to bear in mind when it comes to insurance. And then finally, we're going to touch on GDPR. The good news though for all of these things is they're relatively straightforward and simple, much more than you would think when you think about expanding to an international type of business. So let's get to it. First point, where do you stand when it comes to selling your products and services to clients in other countries? What kind of contract do you need to have? Now, I know you might think at first glance that you need to have a different type of contract for each different country where you have a client. That is not the case. It's up to you as the supplier of services to decide what law is going to apply to your contract. It's entirely open to you to state that the law of the country that you are based in is going to apply to your contract. So we have lots of different international clients of ours based in many different countries, and they use our contract templates very happily, which states that the contracts are subject to English law. And that works very well on an international basis. It works no matter where your clients are based. And actually, it works no matter where you're based as well. So we've had clients based in Bali, for example, or based in Canada, who've had their terms and conditions and their contracts subject to English law. That works just fine. But the main point is it's up to you to decide what law applies, and you can just have one contract subject to the law that you want to apply, and you will use that contract or that set of terms and conditions with your clients no matter where they are based. What a relief, right? So much more straightforward than you would have expected. The next thing that we're going to look at is insurance. Now, when you are supplying services, the main type of insurance that I want to see you get in place to protect you and your business is professional indemnity insurance. That's the insurance that's going to protect you if you mess up when you are supplying your services. If you mess up and for some reason you get some kind of liability and you have to pay compensation of some sort to a client, it's your professional indemnity insurance that's going to save you. So what you need to make sure is you need to speak to your insurance company and check whether there are any limits on the countries that they will cover for your professional indemnity insurance. Now, there are a number of insurance companies that aren't very keen on you providing your services in the USA and Canada, for example. So you definitely do want to check in with your insurance company and check whether there are any countries that they exclude from your insurance. One last thing to mention on the insurance point. If you decide still to go ahead and to supply your services to an area that isn't covered by your insurance company, just make sure that by doing that, you're not making the rest of your insurance policy void. So you just want to double check that as well. The final thing I'm going to cover today is about data, using and storing people's personal data. So this will apply to your clients, but more particularly really is if you're collecting people's data to use that for marketing purposes, to stay in touch with them in the future in relation to your products and services. Now, different countries have different data protection rules and regulations and regimes in place. So what do you do when you're collecting an international email list so you can stay in touch with people in lots of different countries. Well, my advice to you on this is to make sure that you've got a privacy policy in place and a system of looking after the personal data of the people on your email list, which complies with UK and EU GDPR. If you do that, it's likely that you're going to be meeting the requirements of any other different jurisdictions and countries anyway, because the UK and European data protection laws are like a gold standard. So if you meet those requirements, you're going to be doing very well, and it's likely that you would meet any other standards internationally as well. What you can't do, it's just impossible, is to know all of the different data protection laws in all of the different countries and include all of those in your privacy policy. That's just not workable. So my advice to you is to have a privacy policy that complies with UK and EU GDPR, and then you are stood in very good stead. So there you go. Hopefully that's brought you some clarity on this whole topic. Do let me know if you've got any follow-up questions and comments. I'd love to help you. And I look forward to hearing about your adventures with your European and international clients.